the M1 Garand, a legendary battle rifle.
Right there. We don't have any of the clips right now because I forgot them at my place. So
there will be no ping.
We will ping you later.
This implemented at a time when the rest of the world was still using bolt-action rifles.
Safe for 2 countries, but they're mostly limited use, and most people tend to agree they kind of sucked, especially when you compare them to this. The end block clip going inside the gun, just pinging out once you're done, made the whole magazine issue
with that
not a problem.
Like, obviously, I've never been in combat, nor have I been in combat with M1 Garand, but I assure you that pinging noise is not going to be audible with gunshot and artillery and other shit going on. Because that's the thing where, like, when people be like, the ping is going to give your location away. When typically, if you're like a frontline troop, you're not typically in a stealth mission.
You're also not alone. There's going to be at least the rest of your squad with you, all shooting MGs, SMGs, their own M1 Garands. And let's just... So, World War II, you're in the middle of the jungle. You and your buddies are shooting at the Japanese. They're shooting back. And you think one little ting is going to get noticed. You're in the middle of Korea. You and your buddies are on top of a hill shooting down at North Korean regulars as they run up the hill, banging cymbals and drums, throwing grenades, shouting, screaming, hollering, shooting their own SKSs and AKs. Little ping's gonna get noticed.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I've seen that online a lot, but it's like, have you gone even to your local range?
Shit, dude.
I don't know. Small thing, but for the rifle itself,
which it is a beautiful, beautiful rifle. I managed to get this from a local gun shop, and it is in just magnificent condition. I don't know whether it was refurbished or if it just sat in somebody's like rack and was never actually shot, but the bore is beautiful, the wood is beautiful, everything is beautiful. And I actually looked up the serial number, and it's apparently from 1942, so it was definitely around during World War II. And more than likely also it went to Korea, because the army never throws anything away until it's absolutely a pile of dog shit. So
which I'm not too good with the history. When was like the M1 like phased out?
Technically it wasn't phased out until they started to bring in the M14, but at that point they were already almost transitioning to the M16. So around like the 60s, give or take, like late 60s.
Yeah, I know, because I know it had a longer service history, and then even like the documentaries I've seen like on World War II, how much the troops like this compared to like the Tommy gun or like the what would be like the Springfield, the bolt action rifle. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I know people are going to say that. I was going to say at the same time that this was being issued, the 1903 wasn't really being issued, but there's things like not Guatemala, Guadalcanal. They were still using the 1903s until the Marines there got the M1 Garand. They had a lot more older equipment and like different SMGs there. But the army, the regular army going to Europe and even like Africa, they generally had these. So like everything that I've ever seen, this is the Class A thing, because its ammunition is generally pre-packed on clips. You don't have to dick with it in any way, whereas with an SMG, you have to pack your own mags. And if you manage to get one of the 1927s, you aren't using a drum. Old drums especially, are terrible. Like the PPS H41, the old Thompson, even a lot of AK drums are absolutely terrible. So that isn't even really a thing. But this, I'm out of ammo. Just jam the whole packet of ammo in there. It's done.
Yeah.
And then you have the M1A1 carbine. That's light, it's handy, and generally well liked, but it also has a lot of magazine issues because the magazines are A, it was made to be dependent off of a military system constantly giving you ammo and magazines, just constantly refreshing them. Whereas if you like hold on to those magazines, they're very thin and they tend to bend. The feed lips tend to bend, and they tend to become.
Are companies still making the M1 Garand new? Because I know like the M1 Carbine, you can still get it from I forgot the name of the company.
Auto Ordnance.
Auto Ordnance, yeah.
That's kind of a tricky question. I have found this one company, I believe it was called Franklin Armory. I think they might be using like new old stock or something like that, but they make 308 M1 Garands and like competition M1 Garands and all sorts of stuff. I can't imagine that they're cutting up old.
Yeah, because I only bring that up because like I want to purchase one for myself, right? But I don't know where to start outside of going to a gun broker.
It might actually be cheaper just to get an old one because the ones that I've seen like that are usually in like the $4,000 range.
Yeah, that's a bit much. What would be a fair price then?
Honestly,
like if I jump on if I jump on gun broker
for something like this,
yeah,
$1,000 to $1,200 depending on whether or not it's been like Arsenal refinished, and that's a good and a bad thing. Good news, it's going to be very clean and nice like this. Bad news, a lot of people that look at it are going to say the history was like washed away.
Yeah,
and that's kind of up for debate.
But at the same time, I want to use it, right?
Like what's the point in having this cool old gun? Yes, I got a 1903 Springfield chambered in 30-03 instead of 30-06. Well, good luck shooting it.
Yeah, but it's certainly a rifle I plan to get. Maybe not in the near future, but sometime down the road. And I feel like that's a fair price for it, comparing that to like I guess a similar price for a rifle I don't have that I would also like to get. Like a Mini 14, you can have it for $1,000.
Yeah, but I feel is a little bit much. For what you're getting at this point. I feel like Ruger should try and work on making that come down a bit. But you can definitely deck out like. Have you ever seen A-Team? The A-Team?
I know what the A-Team is. Like
the old TV show.
Yeah. Like I never watched the TV show, but I understand what it is. You know, like.
Anyway, so they have this Mini 14 stock in it, and it side folds, and it's something that you would be really into, and it's really disappointing that you didn't know about that, and I feel like you missed out in your entire childhood. That's really sad. Anyway, M1 Garand. So
for shooting it, I thought it was great.
I did as well, obviously.
Like I haven't put a lot of rounds through it, but
especially now,
but it was everything I wanted and more. Because my first experience with the M1 Garand is through Call of Duty, Finest Hour.
Ah, yes.
And just other video games, you know, growing up and like seeing it, and growing up I also was a big fan of Band of Brothers.
Yes.
So
it's a whole other company. I too, first experience was in Call of Duty Big Red 1.
Yeah.
Back then, and then eventually Call of Duty 3, and so on and so forth. And it was always there. It was the staple. It was the best rifle to pick up on the battlefield every single time. And you know what? I can definitely see why. There are some issues that I can point out, like right here. That is a giant hole that just goes straight into the inner workings where there's just springs and, you know, your entire trigger group, everything. It's all right there. The dirt's gonna get in there. Also, the entire top of the action is open. There's your lugs. Dirt can get in there. But at the same time, even with that, which also, there is no piston tube. This is the piston right here. Right up here is your gas port. Right here. All the way down here. That little slit, that's your piston right there. So it's very exposed. This is like the exact opposite of an AR. And yet it works. And I just...
Which, yeah, it works in like the African heat. It works in the jungle. It works in off the beaches, you know? So it's definitely proven itself to be an effective rifle.
And I am so proud that I have it.
Yeah. And I will leave that video there. Thank you guys for watching.
Have a good day.